Do you like my crop top? I have the link in the description box. Do you like my crop top? Do you like my crop top? I have the link in the description box. It's by the Body Apparel, by the way. Okay, I need to get back to the...
You got time for misstepping, time for them weapons, form but not prosper, time for them lessons, time for them blessings, time for first.
Hey y'all, I am Samantha. You are blessed. You are beautiful. Thank God for you in this video. The time narrative is typically centered around what could have been, what would have been, or what should have been, what we could have done, what we should have done, or what we would have done if only. And I believe that if we could have the chance to go back in time, we would probably like to speak to our younger selves. We would probably like to give him or her a piece of advice. And I believe that would sound something similar to this. Hey, insert name. It's me, insert name, from the future. Hey girl, or hey, what's up, bro? You are blessed. You are beautiful. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Now, I know you may want to go left because other people are going left, but just know it's okay to go right. It's okay to do what other people are not doing as long as it is something that is building you higher and higher and higher. You see, the moments that we are uncomfortable are usually the moments that define us best. They're usually the moments that we're able to see what God is really doing in us, who we really are, to see what we're really made of. It's okay to not be comfortable. And I know you want a lot of friends, because I mean, hey, more friends, the merrier, the more the merrier. But look, just like more money, more problems, more friends, more drama, okay? Everyone is not your friend. Not everyone has your best interest at heart. And I'm not saying that you can't have community. What I'm saying is to be attentive to those who you bring around you. Think about it. Even the man himself who really mattered had only 12 friends, but 2 to 3 real ones. So what's really good? And slow down, honey. You're going too fast. You want to go from point A to point Z like this, but how can you go from point A to point Z without the point A and point Z, the alpha and omega? You want to go from B to J, but you don't want to go through the process? Honey, slow down. This is just the beginning. And it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be angry, but don't let that be your identity. Don't allow your battle scars from the past make you who you're not. Use that to be somebody better. Don't think that just because you used to do this, and don't think that just because of your circumstance, you are confined to that hole, because you're not. You're meant to do extremely, exceedingly, and extraordinary things through him. It's okay to cry. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to be happy, because happiness is just contagious. Like, who wouldn't want to be happy? But just know that everything you're doing right now is going to be worth it. It may seem like there's no end. It may seem like everything's falling down. It may seem like no one understands, but somebody's been through what you're going through. And you have 2 options. You can either allow your expectations to defeat you, or you can use your expectations that don't go along your way and have something better in you be blossomed. I love you. Guard your heart. Guard the things that flow from your heart, your mouth, because the tongue is powerful. Your body's a temple. Your body is a temple. Trust in him. For those who trust in him will have their strength renewed. Remember that. I love you. Rarely, if any, are we ready to go into the future unless it has something to do with us positively, unless it's something like winning the lottery, unless it's something that is good and is great. But you know what? Since we're on that topic, okay, let me tell you what I would want. If I could go in the future, of course, I would love to help those who are not as fortunate as I may be and feed into the organizations in terms of investing in them, bringing my money to them, because it's not my money at the end of the day, and helping them help make an impact positively to our environment, whether they are nationally recognized or internationally recognized. But I'd also, to be honest, want to be a little selfish. So my dream vehicle is two G-Wagons, okay? A green matte, olive green matte one, and a black matte one. And of course, I'm gonna have my economical car because why wouldn't I? I'm smart, I'm thinking smarter, okay? But really, my matte G-Wagons are so that I can choose whatever I wanna choose when the weekend comes, so I can pull up to the scene, okay? You know what? I just realized I'm getting carried away. But what I meant to say is that timestamps are imperative. Timestamps are what we put on ourselves when we don't need to put them on ourselves. Instead of using it for something greater, we use it to confine us. We use it to break us. We use it to stagnate our growth. And timestamps are the sequence of different characters or information that has been encoded to help identify the time an event will occur. And I believe the biggest hurdle that we must jump through or jump over as humans is keeping ourselves in our own time zone, in our own time frame, when we're not flexible. You know, I believe that we have to be flexible because, as we know, a lot of us can't really change the narrative because we want things to happen on our time. How many of you guys have said, you know what, I'm going to go to school. Then after I go to school, I'm going to have a 6-figure job. And after I have the 6-figure job, I'm going to do this. But you find out that there needs to be character building, character cultivation. You find out that he has other plans for you before you get to that promise that he has for you. If you think about it, we've already operated on timestamps since the time we were in our mother's womb. You know, you have the trimesters, you have the embryonic and the fetal stage, and then later on you have all your organs develop and whatnot. And then before you know it, the baby is born into this world. But mind you, in that 9-month period, the mother was cultivating something inside of her, that seed, that waiting period, that developmental period. She was feeding that seed nutrients. She might have had cravings and she might have said, no, I don't want them, or she probably fed into them. But she was also exercising that body. She was going through checkups that was needed to make sure the baby's health was intact. She was speaking life into that baby's life, praying for that baby because she knew, or she knows, that that baby is a seed waiting to be a change in this world, a seed that is ready for generational blessings, a seed. And I believe that just like the mother, we have our own seed, whether it's your talent, whether it's your skill, whether it's something that has been embedded in you that is destined for greatness, but we don't feed it. We don't check on it. We just leave it. And I believe that the difference between the mother and us is the fact that the mother knows that by God's grace, there's a 9-month period of waiting, of development, of cultivation, as opposed to us where we don't know and our waiting season will end. It could be 9 months, it could be 25 years, it could be 5 years, it could be 5 minutes. But why can't we be like Abraham? Honestly, I believe that if we were to be like Abraham, things might be a little bit more easier. We wouldn't be putting ourselves in these invisible prisons. Abraham waited till he was 100 years old, but he was given the promise 25 years before, thinking, how am I going to do this? You want me to do something that's not even heard of, but he had faith. He had that crazy faith you're hearing about. And I feel like a lot of times we just don't want to wait. It has to be our time. But what if your time is not the time that is to be your time at this moment? If you think about it, just like in the educational system, you have children who are needing to meet a certain standard. They might be below average or above average, but they're going through tests in order to be promoted to the next stage. As you know, the life cycle goes like this, okay? You have the infant to the child, adolescent to the adult, and so forth. And notice how within these stages, you're being groomed, you're being cultivated physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. You know, we don't know what's next in line, but we know we're growing. We know we can't go back in time, nor can we go ahead in time, nor can we change the time right now, but we know we can maximize the time that we're given. We know that Something is brewing, something is boiling within us, and we're becoming molded pottery, exquisite and beautiful in his image. And when we hear the waiting period, sometimes we smile, but in reality, before we cringe, before we get upset, before we roll our eyes, we're already thinking about what's after. We're already thinking about, okay, so right now I'm in school to be a medical doctor, and I know I have to go through certain things, but that's gonna happen because I know it's gonna happen. But I'm thinking about the time where I have my own practice and I'm gonna be a doctor with a millionaire doctor house and a millionaire doctor, then a million. But the process. We like to micromanage. We like to micromanage things in our lives. We think that we are tricking or deceiving, but in reality, he knows us more than we know us. We're so quick to set up the fire alarm, and even though we see the flames and the fumes are overflowing, we would rather gasp for air, unable to breathe, instead of calling the one who can let out that fire with that fire extinguisher. We'd rather gasp for air, fumes around, gas around, trying to do it our way, but if only we can give a call. Hello, 911. We got an emergency here. Do you get the correlation? I believe that if we start to actually spend time with him, cultivate love for him, walk with him, speak with him, live with him, then a lot of the problems that we embed in ourselves wouldn't really just happen that way. And it's funny because he's already thought about the way that we would fool around, and he's thought about the way that we would make maneuvers here and there, but for some reason he brings us back. He's given us that free will, and even though we have that free will, we still like to do our own will. But let thy will be done. We are human. And we have feelings. We are human and we have emotions. We are human and we have personality. We are human and we have flesh that does what it wants to do, when it wants to do, because it can do what it wants to do. But see, that's what happens when you start to feed something more than what you should actually be feeding. You see, your flesh starts to get fed the things of enjoyment, not the things that your body actually needs to be nourished, if you get my drift. We are human, and we have other humans who we can learn from, who we can speak life into, who we can be of impact to. We have humans to live with, to love, to fellowship with, to pick up, and to help inspire. And if you think about it, we died to the lost so that he may live. And since we live for him. And if we die, we live for him. So whether we live or die, we live for him. And for that very reason, Jesus Christ died and came back to life so that he may be declared the God of both the dead and the living. And what I'm learning in my 20-something years of age so far is that comparison is a thief of the life. Comparison is a thief of joy. Comparison. You start to admire somebody, and before you know it, that admiration turns into idolatry. That admiration turns into comparison. That admiration turns to competition. We're competing with somebody who doesn't even know we're in competition with them. And then we start to lose our sense of self, our essence, our talents, our skills, our authentic being, because we're so focused on catching up and playing a race play by play with someone who has nothing to do with us. Contentment. I believe that if we start to be more content, start to be more aware of what's going on around us, start to embrace and start to thank and start to love and start to serve, then we'll start to have our plans align with his plans. And we start to realize that his happiness is over our happiness. And that's hard to swallow. His happiness over my happiness. Let that sink in. His plans. For he knows the plans he has for you. Plans to prosper and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. And then you will call on him and you will come back and pray to him. And he will listen to you. You will seek him and then you'll find him. And when you seek him with all of your heart, not an ounce, not a fraction, not a piece, all of your heart, then he will be found by you, bringing you back from all captivity, even that you put yourself in. It's hard. I know it is. But we need to stop thinking that everything has a play-by-play, but what if it's not supposed to go that way? What if there are supposed to be stages before you get to that destination that you have? And then, of course, you continue, because this is a journey. You told your past self, enjoy the journey. This is not a race. This is not a sprinting arena. This is a marathon, baby. And you know, it's funny because about a year ago, Holy Spirit kept providing me this verse, this scripture, Psalm 37:4. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Take delight in the Lord. What does delight mean? Take delight in him, and he will give you the desires of your heart. The desires of your heart. For when your desire aligns with his, everything is possible. For when your desire aligns with the divine, you are unstoppable. Get rid of this notion that things have to happen in this order, because who said that? The world said that, TV said that, but did he say that? It's okay where you are. Take everything in and embrace it. I promise you it's worth it. The waiting season is not a harmful season. And there are times that you just want to give up, but just let me tell you something. It all has a purpose. You may be wanting to go here, and right now you're here. But you know, all of this between here and here is going to help you more than you could have imagined. Take delight in him, and he will give you the desires of your heart. What are your true desires of your heart? Does it align with his desires? How would you know? You spend time, you seek him with all of your heart. It's going to be okay. You've got this. Focus on you. Focus on you. Stop competing. It's not a competition. There's no gold medal. There's no bronze medal. There's no silver medal. Just focus on you and what you have, and steward over what you have. Be content with what you have, and it will work out. You may grow weary, but don't let that happen. Keep that momentum going. Keep that momentum going. Stop allowing these distractions to come and infiltrate you. Stop allowing these distractions to come to you. Stop allowing these distractions to knock on your door, and you open it willingly, even though there's a peephole to see who it is. But you allow it. You've got this. What are you waiting for?